Hi, anger. Jesus, sometimes, right? Um, I was recently asked about anger and um, how one can get over the anger that they have, or how one can be less angry. And if there's already a false premise in wanting to be less angry, because you're already judging anger rather than embracing it for what it is. And what anger is it's a step up from feeling depressed into more empowerment. So anger is actually a really important step in moving through stuff. Certainly, if many people who have been feeling depressed in their lives and they get angry, don't often get to move past the anger into boredom and so on, and into happiness and so on, because we are taught by the society that expressing anger is not okay. Now, abusing people is not okay. That's a value that I have. So if you're consciously choosing to abuse somebody, that is not okay for me. However, for you it might be different. Now, moving from that, so how do you express anger if you're not supposed to express it consciously towards somebody else? You find an outlet for it in your own life. Some people go to therapy, as in I'm not necessarily talking about anger management. I'm talking about a space, a sacred space where one can really express the anger without it meaning anything. Because the thing about the anger is that, like any emotion, it will pass. It's just a question of time before it passes. But in the meantime, anger has an amazing ability to give us a kick start from moving from depression into joy and creativity. So anger is a very important step. So expressing anger is really important. Other ways you can express it is through exercise. Some people go for a run. A lot of people run because it's their way of expressing anger or having some form of expression for that energy. Some people like to do martial arts or physiological contact type sport to have that expression of that anger be allowed. And so those are just a few things. Some people who can't necessarily do physical things might write letters to people that have pissed them off and tell them where to put it, but not actually send it. So you're expressing the anger in a safe environment, in an environment that is effectively built for you to be truly who you are, whether it's on your own with a pen or whether it's in a group situation. Maybe you go to boot camp or something and you can go for it. Those are the ways, or as I said, in a therapist's office, because often what really angers us most is that we feel that we don't have the power, we don't have any control over something. So addiction and anger go hand in hand oftentimes. Once you're expressing it, once you have like a valve for the expression of your anger, things start to shift, you will realize your power. You will realize your ability to take control of situations which may have felt like they've been out of control situations. And you start to become more creative and moving up that emotional scale, if you like, from depression into expression, depression into creativity and joy and fun and happiness, requires for you to take those steps. So if you've been depressed for some time and you go into anger and somebody tells you that it's not appropriate to be angry, just make sure that you're not abusing that person. But if people are saying to you that it's not appropriate to be angry, that, you know, you should not be angry, don't be angry at me, you just go like, fine, and go into your own space and be angry in that space, but honor that anger. So in fact, anger isn't a bad thing, it's just what you do with it, because anger actually there's a saying in Finnish that goes like, kun vähän suutahtaa, niin kaikki onnistuu paljon paremmin. So basically, if you get a little bit angry, not angry, but if you get a little bit angry, you get a shitload of stuff done. That's basically the saying. And it's true. Anger gives you a sense of empowerment. So if you've been, I can't stress this point enough, if you felt that you've been restricted for a long time, getting angry is a step to the right direction. So embrace it. And then keep being angry until you're fed up with being angry. Time will come when you will no longer want to be angry, that you're getting a bit bored with it, the whole subject. And that's when your eyes will open to opportunities and other types of realities. And that's when you start to feel hopeful. So you need to go from depression to anger to boredom to hopeful. And when you start to feel hopeful, all of a sudden kind of good things start coming your direction. And creativity starts flowing. And that's when it's important to have a space reserved for that creativity to really come through you and flourish and open. So I often say our biggest wounds, our deepest wounds are our biggest gifts to the world. So you can see now when you're in your depression, if you work up the scale, you can, your true representation of who you are and your true essence will come through and start to express itself and start to create amazing things for yourself and people around you. So embrace anger. It's a fucking pain in the ass at the time, but if you can, just stay with it, embrace it, and it will pass and you will have more of true expression of yourself.